Hi all! Today I'm going to make what I call a bed cape or a bed shawl. It's intended to be worn in bed when you're like staying up late and looking at your phone or reading, so you can keep your shoulders warm. If you have a chronic condition like bursitis, it's actually really nice to have something like this because cold in your shoulders can make your bursitis act up and hurt. Or if you have a repetitive injury, like if you used to lift weights, or if you had a job where you had to move your arms over and over and over again in the same motion, or if you have a sports injury, yeah, you got to keep those joints warm, those shoulders warm. So I'm going to do a double crochet foundation chain. So keep an eye on what I'm doing here. I did 3 chains, then I yarn over and I went back into the first chain that I made, pulled through one, then I'm going to make a chain, pinch that, and then yarn over twice. Okay, or I'm sorry, pull through twice, just like your regular double crochet. Yarn over again, go through that first chain that you did and that you pinched. You want to go over both sides of that stitch, pull through, yarn over again, pull through, hold that chain, then you go through those two just like a regular double crochet. Yeah, you always have to yarn over for a double crochet, just like a regular one. Okay, so then you pinch that single crochet and then you complete your double crochet. Yarn over, go through that chain, make sure you get under, you have to go into that chain. Yarn over, pull through one, then you make a chain, you pinch that chain, and then you finish your double crochet. Yarn over, go into that chain, pull through once, and make a chain, pinch that chain. So that's what we've got here. This is a double crochet foundation chain. It's nice and stretchy and it's comfortable around your neck. This is going to be the top of the shawl. Keep doing this until you get it to the length that you want around your neck. If you want a loose shawl or you want a tight shawl around your neck like a crew neck, just keep crocheting this until it fits around your neck the way you want it to. And it will have to close in the front, so you want to make sure that you overlap at least like 3 stitches. Okay, I'm back. I finished the last stitch. You want to turn your work. You want to go into the top of the stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through. Go into the space between the legs of the stitch and come out here. See, leave that part in the back. Don't go all the way through like that. You want to go out like that. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2. Go into the legs of the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. You've done 3 stacked single crochets. That's how high we want our stitch to be. Now we yarn over, we go into the same space, pull up a loop, we yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's an extended double crochet. I'll do that again. Yarn over, go into the stitch, the whole stitch, both bars, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. This is an extended double crochet. Okay, let's do another. Yarn over, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, so we have 2 into this stitch and we have 2 that we've made into individual stitches. 1 and 1. Let's do it again. Yarn over, go under both stitches, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to do a special stitch. It's like a cluster. You're going to use the front bar for the first stitch and the back bar, the back bar for the first stitch and the front bar for the second stitch. Yarn over, go into the middle of the stitch, go towards the back, and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the middle of the stitch again, but come towards the front. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And make sure you don't split your stitch like I just did. There we go. Okay, so what that does is that gives you an increase because there are now 2 open stitches where 1 had existed down here in this row. So this is our increase. 1, 2, 3 singles, 1 to 1, and then you double up in that 4th stitch. Okay, there's 2 in this one, but it's different. This one spreads out. Okay, so I came to the end and I put 2 extended double crochets into the last stitch using the whole stitch, not the split method. And it doesn't matter where you land on your pattern at the end. Just stop where you are on the pattern when you get to the last stitch and just put in 2 extended double crochets. Turn your work, and we're going to do 3 stacked single crochets. Okay. Yarn over, go into the same space and do an extended double crochet. Now we're going to, instead of count 3, 1, 2, 3, we're going to do 4 extended double crochets into the entire stitch, and then we'll do a split 2 extended double crochets in the front loop and back loop. That's the pattern for this row. So we've done 3, this is 4, the 4th one. And now we're going to do the split in the back bar and in the front bar. That's the pattern all the way down. When you get to the end, you're going to put 2 in this stitch right here, the very top of your stacked single crochets. You're going to put 2 in the whole stitch. I'll meet you back. Okay, so I've come to the end, and I put 2 extended crochets in the same stitch using both bars, not the split method. Let's turn your work. Now we're not going to double anymore. We're just going to do our 3 stacked single crochets and then we're going to go right into the pattern, this time 5 extended double crochets 1 to 1 in each stitch. Okay, see? 1, 2, 3, 4, and this will be 5. So we're not using 2 here now, so it won't continue to grow on this end, but it will stay straight. And don't count this stacked end crochet as the first part of your pattern. Start counting your pattern in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then here's where we do the split between the front and back bar to give you your increase. Okay, so you've got your increase and you've got 5 stitches. Continue to do this pattern all the way to the end, and do not double up on the end. Just put one extended double crochet under both bars. You will continue this pattern of increasing your stitches, but it will create a very nice circular overlap, just enough so you can put some buttons in here or some ribbons to tie it, because you want this to close in the front. But yeah, keep doing that and I will meet you back. Okay, I'm back. Now I have done several rows until it fell down to my elbows from my neck. And I steadily increased 1 stitch for the pattern every row. So what I have at the end here, here's the split stitch. I had 23 1-to-1 singleton type stitches in between my split stitches on the last row. So that's how long it is. There's the top. Now I got to the end and I had an idea that I wanted to put buttons all the way down the front of the opening, kind of like a cardigan. And so I've marked my buttonholes. Buttons are going to go on this one, and this is where the buttonholes are. Now I've got the last stitch of the row, and I'm going to go this way with single crochets, and over this row that I have marked, I'm just going to do like three chains. So that's going to be a buttonhole. Okay, and then I'm going to do single crochets until I get to this row where I've marked, and that's going to be 3 chains. And before you get too far along, you might want to try to get the buttons lined up that you want to use, and test to make sure that they go through the hole. If it's too tight and they won't fit, you can add an extra chain and do like 4 chains or whatever. If you wanted to do ribbons, this is where you could just do a single crochet all the way up, and then you could sew on some ribbons at the top and maybe periodically, or do buttonholes on both sides, and then you could lace it up like a corset or sneakers to close the front. However you want to do it, it's up to you. But I'm going to do buttons, so I'm going to go get my buttons. Okay, so I found 7 buttons that look pretty close, similar to each other. 5 are identical, and then I've got 2 that are close but a little bit smaller. So I'm going to do a single crochet edging. I'm going to try to go into this stitch and just try to find, you know, places to put my hook. I'm going to try to get underneath of 2 separate yarn threads, or through, you know, obvious spaces. But it's not always easy. It's not a rocket science when you're going along the edge. Part of the reason why we do edges is to neaten them up a little bit so that they look regular. Because the side here, I mean, even though it's nice and straight, it just doesn't look that, doesn't have that obvious stitched edge. Okay, so here is the one row I'm going to skip because I have the marker. I'm going to put 3 chains in right here. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go right back into and hopefully this won't be too big. It feels pretty loose. It feels loose for the little buttons. Maybe I could do 2 chains instead of 3. Let's see. Back into that space. Okay, so let's see. The big buttons still go through? It does. What about the little one? How loose is it? It's still pretty loose, but I'm not going to go any smaller. But that's good. Remember, this is acrylic, it will stretch a little bit. And I'm going to go back to doing single crochet stitches just to give us an edge. Here's another row. Coming up on it. 1, 2. Okay, so that'll be your buttonhole. So it actually goes pretty quickly. Single crochets don't take that long. And they do, I think they neaten it up. What do you think? That edge versus this edge. I think it does. I think it makes it look like a nice clean edge. It's also a slightly different color, you know, against these edges here, so gives it a little bit of a contrast just with the color alone. So I'll meet you back when I get to the end here. Okay, I'm back. So this is the last row, and I'm going to do 2 stitches, two chain stitches. Let me just move that off of there. Okay, so that's the last buttonhole. There. Okay. One thing I want to say before I go too far, when you're turning a corner, you can put in 3 stitches like these 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, in the same hole to turn the corner. Just like that. So that traps it in there into the stitch. Just for a couple of stitches. That's one less thing you have to worry about doing hand weaving. You can just do 2 zigzags with the pass with the needle when you're weaving in your ends instead of the full 3. But that's all I wanted to say. So when you're turning your corners, you can put in 3 stitches in the same hole, and that'll help turn the corner. Okay, so I got to the end of the side where I'm going to be sewing the buttons on, and so I've just put 2 chains at the end. And make sure that I'm counting my rows. And I'm going to switch the stitch marker from the side that has the hole to the side where I want. So I want it to go in this end. So I'm just going to put it on the end, but I want my button to go like right there. I'm just going to go down the line. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to transfer my stitch markers over to where I want to sew my buttons, and I'll meet you back. There we go. So we're coming up on the first buttonhole. So crochet around the whole chain. And now I'm going to do 2 double crochets. Just like that. And then go back into the tops of the stitches. So that's my buttonhole. It's a lot easier to see when you've crocheted over it. It's very hard to see right now, especially when you have such large stitches. See how you could probably put the buttons through the fabric as it is and not have to make buttonholes. But I like buttonholes because they're reinforced. You know, they're just a little bit stronger. Versus just a single stitch. So there it is. There it is. There's no button at the bottom. And like I said, this is all optional. You don't have to do buttons. You could just, you know, crochet a ribbon or I-cord and just tie it at the neck or sew on some ribbons, you know, that look nice with the yarn that you used. I'll meet you back. Okay, so I've pulled some yarn up. Knotted it on the back. And I'm doubling it. I'm just going to put it through a couple of stitches back here. Now I'm just going to run it through the stitches. Now you could just tie them on one by one and hide all of the ends, or you could do it like this. And I didn't want it to be too tight. But you also don't want this to be too loose. You want your buttons to lay against your fabric. I'm just bringing the yarn towards the middle. And go back. To the back of your garment, to the back side, the wrong side. And then continue to hide the yarn along your stitches. So keep doing this until you get all your buttons sewn on, and I'll meet you back. So here it is. It's not blocked, but it's finished. And I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, share, and subscribe. I also have a Facebook page if you want to share any projects that you make. I would love to see them. See ya! Görüşürüz.